Okay, here we go. Welcome to the replay. For those of you watching right now, because I'm live on Facebook, this is Kai Ashley, and today I'm here to talk to you about one of the most important. Get your words right, sweetheart. Okay, let me take a breath. Okay, so I'm here today to talk to you. Yes, I'm getting my words in. Yes, they're happening about one of the most important topics. Okay, I've got it. Which is addiction, self-sabotage, and bad habits. More so, how guilt and that stress feeling that you feel when you think of the things you care about is the cause of your bad habits, your addictions, and your sabotages. So it's so important to understand that the way you talk to yourself determines everything in your life. But we've all been taught these horrible patterns about punishing ourselves with guilt. When we think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and you think it in that energy, it feels so normal, but like it doesn't feel normal to me anymore, but it might feel normal to you, but it used to feel normal to me because it's what we were trained in. Unfortunately, our parents were only human, our family were only human, and humans have a lot of negative programming and just real crappy thoughts that cause crappy behavior. And so when you did something wrong, or in their eyes that they perceived as wrong when you were a child, they would withdraw their love. They would no longer come at you from a loving place. They would come at you from anger and pain and shame and meanness, and sometimes like downright like physical abuse and things like that. And it's because like they can't give you what they don't have. So they were treated in that same way, maybe even worse, growing up. And so that just passed down on the line. So it's time to stop and overcome these guilty thinking habits. Because guess what? You probably don't even know that you're thinking in guilt, do you? Okay. So let me talk a bit about this now. I'm just going to refresh because I'm doing this through Zoom because it's such a lovely, flattering video camera. Let's be real, that's the truth. So let's get it up. That's what she said. If you know me, I actually do love that joke. I think it's the best joke of all time. At first, it's like that joke that is like really annoying. And then because it's annoying, you say it so much that it eventually becomes funny. So that's where I'm at with it. So if you know me, I'm constantly making that's what she said jokes and silly things like that. It's funny, like I'm actually like a really funny person in person, but I don't think it really portrays that much on the videos I do. But yeah, I think I have a bit of a I don't know, a sense of humor of some sort. So okay, let's get down to business. Use. We want to talk about how and why you have your addictions. Now, the reason I'm qualified to talk about this is because I have had a lifetime of addiction, even as I would show up literally helping change people's lives, heal them from physical illness, heal them from anxiety, help them manifest money and create their dreams and opportunities and really cool things like that. All along the way, I've been struggling with my own battle, my own demons, I guess you could call them. And as I said earlier, before I got distracted, I didn't even know that I was feeling guilty. I would actually say, I would always say, I'm not a guilty person. Like, I don't really feel guilt. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. To the point where, most of my life, literally, since I was really 14, 15, I've been doing drugs pretty, not consistently, somewhat. I've had like breaks and, it's like on and off, on and off, on and off. But it's like it's like just as casual for me as drinking, to be honest. And I go in and out of phases with different drugs, different alcohol, different sabotages and things like that, from like whether it's television or shopping, or one stage in years ago it was sex, and it was all these different things, but it was always from one addiction to another. And for years, when I didn't have an addiction, I was unhappy. And so I've had to really transcend that. Well, let me just move the screen. I see someone's here. Is it? Oh, hello, Kelly Renee, my sweet darling. Welcome, welcome. You are one of the first to see my new hair. I got it a little while ago, but this is the first time I've worn it because I was so happy with my, getting my hair freshly blonded, back to natural blonde, as I like to say. Yeah, so this is my new purple. I'm very happy with it, I think. But yeah, so we shall see. So, what am I talking about? Oh, yes, my lifelong addiction. Well, so many of us, we've had addictions from one level to another. And I really was, in some ways, a functional addict, but at the same time, not really, because it eventually spirals out of control, doesn't it, when it's an addiction? And to me, an addiction is when you feel like this present moment isn't good enough. And so you have to do something to make it feel better, even if that doing something will make you feel worse in the long run. So for me, that is what it's sort of been for me. It's just been like this whole lifetime of managing different addictions and taking one thing to, manage another. But because of my love of great highs and great heights and, changing my state, it's also driven me to find ways to do it, obviously, without chemicals and what, like TV and sex and all those sorts of things, with actually doing it from a genuine place of finding it within me. And that's been one of the hardest journeys of all. Even as I transcended and transmuted PTSD that made me so reactive that I would just fly off the handle and get triggered so easily. I had to learn how to overcome my triggers, and I have. Like, I very rarely get triggered now. It's very rare, actually. It's been a long time since I've been triggered, but even when I am triggered, I can usually get over it in 2 minutes. I think maybe one time, maybe two times in the last 2 years, maybe I got triggered for like 10 or 15 minutes, but I know how to really work my way through it now. So the thing that really came to a head with me was when my eating was so out of control. It was ruining me. I mean, I was so overweight. I mean, people here who know me, if you've been following me for a while, you've been seeing my weight fluctuate. You've been seeing that I come and go, and it's just because of this horrible pattern that I had that all had this guilt underneath. And again, I didn't know I was guilty. I would have sworn black and blue that I was not guilty. But when I actually looked at the feelings and the behaviors that were underneath, it's like this jumpy feeling inside. So like I even got it yesterday a little bit, even though what I ate yesterday was totally fine. I did my intermittent fasting, it was all good. I still at the end of the day thought, what was it that I ate? I don't know. I mean, it was fine. All I had was some steak, some eggs, and some hot chips to eat yesterday, and a little bit of ginger ale. That was it. And that's a vast cry from how I used to eat, which was I used to have like those dessert tubs and I'd just eat them one after the other. And if I wasn't eating it, I would feel in some sort of pain. And it was just ridiculous. But it was because, and I'm going to get to the point here, it's because that guilt feeling, it's almost like a jittery, jumpy feeling or a tightness or a down feeling, or like your mind goes to how you can fix the problem, how you can fix it. Oh, should I eat less? Should I do a fast? Should I exercise more? Oh my God, am I even going to be able to do that? Am I going to keep it up? And my mind would run on and on with that. And so I'd noticed that with other things in my life, I wasn't doing that. Like for some of them, never. For some of them, not for years. Um, like things like with my money, like I don't stress like that and try to with money anymore. I come up with the outcome that I want, and then I trust that it will work out. And whether it does, whether I hit it or not, I still trust that everything is working out for me, and then it does. Whereas that's a far cry from years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago, when my husband and I went through a financial crisis, completely tanked our life through a terrible, sort of stupid business idea, and really fucked ourselves over and ended up with absolutely nothing. We were just about to be homeless. Fortunately, we knew a friend who had a friend who had an apartment that we got to move into. And we spent the last of our money on that apartment for the month. We had no money for food at all. We had no plates, no furniture, no fridge, no nothing. Okay, so I had to work my way from that, where we literally had to go to the Salvation Army to cook. They had to actually give us plates to take home because we had literally nothing. And so that's an example of when my mind was always racing through the different ways to solve the problem. And of course, over time, I've changed that now. And now I, see clients consistently on the regular, and I feel really confident in my business. And the only thing that's gotten in the way of my business really growing how I see it and how I know it's meant to is my addiction issues, which actually, yes, guilt, but also was directly related to my fear of being seen. So I could say that when I put on all that weight, and I felt so bad that then I didn't want to show up because literally I was embarrassed. Like always, ever since I first came online, the very first day I ever did a video online, I was embarrassed. And every single video I've done since, just about, I felt embarrassed. But I would push through and I'd do it anyway. But it was like, I had a severe trauma growing up with being bullying and abused, and always made like fun of for the way I spoke, because I always had an accent for some reason. And so I really have had this deep fear of being seen. I have this inability to see, even hard for me to say this inability to listen and to authority. Like I just don't have that. Like, how like some people say, oh, it's the authority, so I have to do what they're saying. I've never had that. Like I literally dropped out of school. I flunked out of year 10, and I'm so glad I did, because I got to learn life my way, and through the school of hard knocks, I have grown into this incredible healer with this great life experience and truly deep wisdom that I get to share with people and really help people. So, and I got to do it all my way without being, the way that actually works, like when it comes to healing and actual health, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's see if I can pick up the pieces of what I was saying. So we're talking about guilt and how it will destroy you, because when you are thinking, how do I fix it? How do I fix it? How do I fix it? That's where I started. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? Blah, 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 blah. You're in this panic feeling, and it weakens your body, and you're actually moving further away from what you want. And this is really important. You're moving further away from what you want. So you have to care so much about how you feel that when you start feeling stressed, when you're thinking, you cut those thoughts off and you find another thing to think about. Now, you could be thinking about the same thing, and it could be as easy as realizing that you're feeling guilty, that either the tight feeling or that fluttery feeling. And as I said yesterday, when I felt that in the past, it just would have grown. And as I say, don't feed the fears. Well, anything that's not love, it's either fear or love, and everything's a subset. And so every time that I was feeling this, so when I was feeling this feeling, I just relaxed my body around it and said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And besides, it was actually okay. And then the feeling was sort of there saying, yeah, but you could have maybe fasted and you would have lost even more weight tomorrow. And I'm like, no, like this is like the long game. This is a lifestyle. I don't need to do these. Like, even though I do like to water fast and I do like to intermittent fast, and I do love how, that does make me thinner, but my ultimate reason is usually because of health or spirituality. And then the losing the weight is a bonus on top. When I try to do it just for losing weight, it never really works. So the losing weight for me when I water fast has to be secondary. Yeah. And so I just reminded myself of that. And it was as simple as this: first realizing what guilt was, and realizing how it was toxic. So I already had that embedded in. And then as soon as the fluttery feeling started coming up of the guilt, where I wanted to go into, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have done that, like I could have like, woken up thinner. And I'm like, no, literally, you have to say in your head, no. Sounds simple, but are you doing it? No. And then you relax the body around the guilt and you just stop it. Now, it's almost easier said than done unless you actually realize it's a real thing that you can actually do easily. You just have to be willing to stop that line of thought. And what do you do instead? Now, this is the whole point and why I'm doing this live stream today. The way you get out of it is very essential and important and actually easy and fun. It's a big hard price to pay, isn't it? You actually have to think fun, happy things, and have hope for things to get better, which feels good and makes you stronger. It really does. So the way you get out of it is you use the desire switch, which is simply where every time you're thinking of the guilt or the fear or it not working out, worrying, it's because you have a desire. Okay, so you have the fear here, right? You have the fear there, and then let's say your desire is here. Okay, you're scared of it here. Your actual desire is here, and this is it not working out. This is your faith in it going wrong, and you're obsessing and thinking about it going wrong, what you did wrong, all the things that could go wrong, including the way that you're trying to figure it out is actually part of you imagining it is wrong, and that's the desire here. And instead, you want to switch in to the positive imagination of it going right. Okay, so you got your desire up here, you just flip the switch and you go into this side where you literally just drop it. And instead of stressing through all these time that I wasted and all these things that I've done and it might not work out and what if it's still like this, like shut up, like to yourself, and this isn't me saying this to you, this is you saying this to you in your head, like shut up, like stop complaining so much. Now, as a shadow worker and as someone that literally had PTSD and took years to reprogram my thoughts, I'm not minimizing that it can be hard. But sometimes using language like this and knowing that it is a thing where you can just flip it if you understand how important it is, then it actually becomes easier and you will have moments of clarity where you can do that and where you will do that more and more and more until if you actually are committed to changing out of the fear, flicking that desire switch. So the fear is imagining it going wrong, flicking the desire switch and changing into just simply imagining it going right. That's all you got to do. It will start happening automatically for you if you take it seriously, if you realize that how you feel is more important than what you think, if you realize that your thoughts aren't important, and if you realize that guilt is the thing, stress, shame, blame, and feeding those with your focus and attention is the thing that makes you need to imbibe, need to take and check out and numb out. It's that you need to get away from yourself because you're being such a cunt to yourself. You don't realize it because it's so normal to you, but you can't handle the way you feel. It's not your life. It's not the things that have gone wrong. It's not the situation you don't like. It's how you think about the problem. You think that the problem is the problem, but it's not the problem. Okay, it's how you bitch and moan and criticize and complain about the problem that makes it so bad that you have to check out and escape. Now, my shift came, so grateful for my husband. He has always been really amazing with food and weight. In fact, he literally grew up from 11 or 10 or 11 years old as a bodybuilder, like a proper bodybuilder, not just a weightlifter, but like every muscle. And so he built himself into this, Adonis machine, basically. I'm very lucky. And when we met on that beach in Thailand, he was just wearing those knee-length little shorts and those abs and big chest. I was very happy. And anyway, this is a way that you can learn from people is you listen to the way they say things and the actual beliefs they have about things. So this thing being my overeating and eating in general. And he's like, but you just say to yourself, now he talks in a Cockney accent. So he's like charming Cockney accent. He said to me, look, you just say to yourself, I am in control. And if you eat a bit much one day, you just, what do you say? You just maybe eat a bit less the next day or do a bit more exercise. It's really no big deal because you are in control. And I swear to you, I had never said those words before. I maybe in a stressed way, but I'd never ever said in this. Listen to the tone I'm saying it in. Feel how it's different in the body. I am in control. I am in control. Try saying it to yourself when you're feeling like you're about to overeat or you have overeaten, or maybe you're whatever your numbing out thing is, whatever you're checking out, whatever your heightening addiction, sabotage, bad habit is. Even though it might not feel true at first, you have to realize that you are in control. These are your choices. This is your mind. No one else has anything to do with what you actually choose to do. Not really. And so when I realized and I started using the word, because it's not good enough to just read about this stuff. You've got to actually practice it, actually use the words, and you'll feel like a bit of an idiot at first, but so be it, right? Because the idiots are the ones that don't actually think. They just think that they're thinking because they're hearing thoughts in their head, but it's just programs. The reason why you are so used to thinking about the worst case scenario, it's just because you're thinking automatically. You're not actually thinking. They're not real thoughts. You're not actually thinking. Okay, it's not an insult, it's just a fact. It's just so easy, it's on an automatic track. And when you feed it by agreeing with it, then it grows like gremlins, replicates, amplifies, and attracts other negative thoughts. So if you ever notice, if you start focusing on your worry, you're like, oh, I don't know if it'll work out. Then you start getting thoughts like, yeah, well, maybe I should just quit. It's like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, I was just so fired up yesterday, or this morning, and then all of a sudden you get one down little thing and you just start feeding it. And it's like, stop feeding the fears. Okay, it's so important that you just understand that it's a choice. And so for me, the real transformation came when I stopped feeling like I was doing the wrong thing for taking drugs, for drinking, for eating. And I realized that I was in control. And rather than guilting myself about, oh, I really should stop one day. And, if I really want to be successful, I'm really going to have to stop. And, like that sort of stuff, I just cut it out and I just let myself enjoy it. I just let myself do it. Okay, now the rehab center is probably going to tell you this, but this is what's worked for me multiple times. Actually, time before with my business was exactly this thing in a different way, but the exact same thing where I just let myself do what I was doing. That helped shift me out of resistance and into action. But it meant that I went through some time, like just like those years ago, I think it was only 2.5 weeks of completely indulging and not guilting myself for watching Netflix all day and not doing the stuff I knew I had to do, but I wasn't doing it anyway. So I just stopped guilting myself. And then within 2.5 weeks, I just got inspired to get up and exercise. And then after some days of exercise, then I got inspired to start writing posts and I launched my business again. And this time, in like a different area, obviously, it was, I just let myself do it and enjoy it. And then just notice, instead of being like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It was just like literally this different energy. You have to change the energy. I've got this little hair. Yes. You got to change the energy from the me. Like that's what it's like fill in the blank, right? Come on. To this energy. Oh, did I like that? Did that work for me? What do I want to do tomorrow? Is that working for me? Do I want to try something new? It's calm, easy, breezy. Okay, just calm, non-dramatic. It's not as interesting. Okay, so my drama queens here who are addicted to their stress, to their guilt, we all Everyone who obsesses about the worry, it's actually because a part of you likes it. You think it's helpful. You think it's justified. You may even be punishing someone or something for it by like, well, I'm not going to feel happy because then that would show you that you were right. It's like, well, fuck that, because no one cares, right? You're not punishing anyone except for yourself. So instead, you have to switch out of the fear, of the guilt, of the and the complaining and the shaming yourself into just, it feels like almost robotic, but it's actually our emotions that are robotic because our emotions program us and lift us our arms up like a puppet. Literally, like lift the chips up to your mouth like a puppet because of the emotions that you feel. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that the calmness is boring for people who grew up in abusive or traumatic situations, who are used to stressing and, all that sort of stuff. It feels boring at first, but that's peace, people. That is peace. Peace feels like nothing. It feels like nothing. And when you first feel peace in like my sessions, when people start feeling peace, they're like, uh, I feel nothing. I'm like, well, I think that's probably peace, right? Oh, I guess it is. And it seems, as I just said 5 times, it's so boring. But the great thing about peace is when you stop getting your excitement from the addiction and the worry and the fear, just stop it. When you get into peace, when you start imagining things going right, like it's your full-time job, because it is, your life depends on it. Your quality of your life does, and your health depends on it. Whether you imagine yourself into sickness is a thing, it's a real thing, or you imagine yourself into health. Depends on whether you imagine things going wrong and stress yourself out, or imagine things going right and see that there's always another way and always another opportunity. Yeah. So to add on to that, you've got to allow yourself to trust that imagining the good happening isn't lazy. It isn't showing that you don't care. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. So the pace is boring at first, but it's what causes and attracts your desires, your exciting things, and the opportunities. So you've got to be willing to give up the immediate excitement and the immediate attachment to needing to worry and fear, because it's literally harming you in the truest sense of the word, so that you can then imagine good things happening all the time, okay? All the time. And you have to catch yourself, because those negative thoughts will keep coming in. They will zoom in, they will barge in, they will convince you that they're real. But the second that you agree with them, they will start multiplying. So you've got to make it a commitment to say, no, I will not believe this. I will not think this. It is not serving me. What's the truth? Well, the truth is, when I feed the fears, they grow. When I fear, more things to fear happen. This is the universal law that I taught in my recode yourself with the universal law of success workshop just yesterday, which, by the way, is available for purchase. It was about an hour and 47 minutes of pure gold with like smackdown teachings just like this, all about how you can specifically switch your thoughts from negative to positive, and with journaling practices and a visualization practice that actually smashes through limiting beliefs as well. So if you want that, send me a message, or maybe I'll actually put the link here as well. It's a low cost workshop and really is something that, if this is a topic that interests you, if you're still watching, then I would really suggest that you absolutely get it. It will shift so many things for you, especially not just watching it, not just reading about it, doing the actual practices inside. Yeah. So can I find my thread again? I just felt like, it came up. I have to tell you, because that's my job, is to help you to get the transformation. So remember, it is so important to switch from the negative into not just the positive. It's about imagining it working out, even if you don't know. You tell yourself, well, if I did know, well, what do I hope would happen? What would the ideal outcome be? Who would I be if I was already that person? And you start thinking like this over and over and over again, and eventually it becomes natural. And you won't need to escape from yourself because you're being such a big bitch to yourself, right? When you're guilting and stressing and worrying, you're just hurting yourself. So that's been my sermon today. I hope that this has helped you. If it has, would you please share this video, because I feel like not many people know this angle on addiction, bad habits, and sabotages. And I know there are so many people that need to hear this message. So please go ahead, if you feel called and you want to give back, to share this video on your profile with a friend, wherever you want to share it, go ahead. Okay, guys, if anyone here is a leader, a creative, a mystic, a spiritual, an ambitious woman, and you want to overcome your fears and heal your physical body, then I can help you. So, what I really suggest is for anyone that is just absolutely done with the struggle, with feeling sick or pain in their body, even like the real physical stuff, even if you think it's not possible, believe me, it is possible to heal your physical pain, whether it's sciatica, stomach spasms, asthma. I myself healed a lung disease that almost killed me. I healed chronic fatigue that the doctor said I'd be sick with forever. I went home and healed that bastard within 8 months. Okay, you healing is so possible. And what I found, especially with the people in my tribe, is a lot of the block comes, the like physical or the anxiety even, or the things going wrong, the weight gain or whatever it is, it comes from you turning away from your purpose. It comes from you being scared of being seen. It comes from you saying no to your true desires out of fear, out of protection, out of weak boundaries, trying to be a nice person or whatever it is. And what we need to do is shore up your boundaries, which is the container for your ideal life. Okay, so if you say yes to things that you secretly don't want to do and you feel resentful, you're not living your ideal life, you're moving further and further away from it. The more you get strong in your boundaries, your ability to say yes and no to what you actually feel inside, including getting yourself to do the work that you see inside, follow through on the ideas that you have instead of resisting and numbing out. Because I've seen a lot of the reason that people have anxiety is because they're ignoring something important in their life. If you just do the damn thing, the anxiety goes away. It's pretty true. And especially when you use my unique heart and soul freedom technique to reprogram your mindset, recode your nervous system, and completely do that about 180 change, like I've been speaking about, from the desire switch, from the worry into the trust, then opportunities open up. You start making more money, you call on more clients, you can do more, you can be more, you can have more, you have more energy, and things really begin to change for you. So right now I have one-to-one spots open. If you want to work with me, then you'll start with a single session. And in this session, we'll get to know each other. I'll guide you through this immensely powerful, intense exercise where you will know that you had a transformation. It's not just like a lovely little healing where you're like, oh, that was nice. No, no, no. It's a physically active process where you will heal so much. But this is just like learning to play the piano. This is just like losing 100 pounds at the gym. You're not going to do it in one session. Okay. So if you're actually serious about changing your life, remember that you get no points for going it alone. In fact, that's a trauma response. Okay, so the most successful people get help. And if you want help and you resonate with me and my vibe, then my work is some of the best you can try, because I have healed people from things that they were told they would have forever. I have saved people from operations that were risky and might not have worked. I have helped people to release anxiety in ways that they thought was impossible. And in the process, they grow their business, they step into their purpose, they improve and heal their relationships. So if that sounds good to you, send me a message. I am here and ready to help. My clients already are kicking ass, and I am available for more. Yeah. Okay, I'm Kai Ashley, coming to you today with my purple hair. And yeah, I'll be back soon. So thank you so much for being here. And thanks for being here, Kelly. Kelly says, perfect topic for how I'm feeling this week. I'm in total control with how I am eating. Yeah, you just choose them. I am in control. I am in total control. I am in control. My choice. Did that. And then when you overeat, you go, oh, did I like that? Instead of like, oh, I shouldn't have. Oh, did I like that? Not really. I feel a bit. Okay, well, then what would I like to try tomorrow? And then try. It's that simple. Okay, gorgeouses. Remember, stop being a bitch to yourself so you don't have to escape into your addictions and do your purpose work, because that really is the key to your recovery. And let me know if you want any help or if you want to join my Recode Yourself with the Universal Laws Masterclass workshop. Okay, that's available for $122. So send me a message if you want access to that. Okay, love you all. Bye.